I think I'll allow my colleague to say the rest on the electoral justice before I report on the way forward from here.
Dear ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the analysis of YOLENO TV. I hope you're well from wherever you're watching this channel. I'd like to start this session by appreciating you so much for making this channel grow. If you wish to support us, just subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. So I stumbled upon a video about what was going on at the Bomas bipartisan talk, because you remember the team reached to a conclusion on the items which are going to be worked on. I mean, not really the what was going to be discussed on, but now they had agreed on a framework previously on items to be discussed. They went through the process of collecting views from Kenyans or from various stakeholders. They have agreed on items which are binding to both parties. One of the items, which is the bone of contention and which is the main reason why that committee was formed, is the issue of electoral injustice. How to fix that going forward, because it has been alleged that that has always been the issue that's bedeviling Kenyans ever since the days of Moi. Because you remember Moi's how election was done, and especially Amos Wako said it in the previous, when he was doing his submission, he said that he's the one who used to act like the IEBC chair. Back then it was not IEBC, but he was the Attorney General. So he could appoint I think provincial commissioners who would in turn serve like the the IEBC commissioners. So I think he made that kind of declaration. That's what used to happen during Moi, and then he said that he advocated for an independent body to be handling election, because he deemed it necessary to do that, because how can you be appointed by the president and then be the same person who is heading the electoral issues? So that's what Amos Wako said back then. So you also understand the history of ECK, and you understand how IEBC came into place with the 2010 constitution, and what has been happening ever since that time. When Cecil Mbarire, who was the co-chair alongside Minority Leader Opiyo Wandayi, when it reached a point where she was supposed to talk about electoral justice or injustice, she decided to hand over that part to Opiyo Wandayi. I could notice one thing from that move, that Cecil Mbarire was not ready to talk about electoral injustice. I think this is an issue which was not making her comfortable. So she sought to give Opiyo Wandayi to make that submission.
As the committee, and we wish to report the following: that we've agreed on the development of a framework that is under the electoral justice. We've agreed that we develop a framework on the audit of the electoral process. That is going to be done in the next 2 weeks. We should be able to have a clear framework about that. And then we will then I think I'll allow my colleague to say the rest on the electoral justice before I report on the way forward from here. Co-chair.
And from that reaction, there is one thing I could make out of it. That hii swala lote la IEBC audit, IEBC server audit, IEBC electoral injustice and the like, ni swala ambalo wanaona ile haya, niseme kwamba wanaona haya kulitamka. Ni kwamba ni swala, according to me, naona maana kama wewe usiki kabisa, hauja participate in making sure that there is electoral injustice, then why would you feel afraid to mention it? I could see Cecil Mbarire almost stammering, at the mention of IEBC reorganization. So she gave Opiyo Wandayi to talk about that part, which is okay, because Opiyo Wandayi decided to deliver it the way it was expected. So to me, I still, this issue is still one thing that UDA hawajaamini kwamba linaenda kuongelewa. Lakini again, hata kama hawajaamini, ukiona ile submission ambayo ilikuwa pale katika memoranda, you know, the bipartisan memoranda session, whereby there were presentations, all those leaders who came there except those ones who came from UDA, wote walisema lazima tufanye audit. Wote walisema tufanye audit, tujue mess ilifanyika wapi, so that we can correct future mistake. Mind you, that is the only way you get to better this electoral system of ours, and for us to better it, it has to be done like that. That means lazima kwanza wafanye ile kitu inaitwa kwamba kufafanua, kuangalia, kuchimba, kujua kwamba hii ilifanyika hivi. So I was saying, my point here is very clear, that the people in UDA represented by Cecil Mbarire in that meeting are still finding it hard to accept the fact that that is something that must be done and will be done. And it's number one. I think in the issues Azimio raised, it's number one. Of course, we know that the high cost of living is a thorny issue also. The UDA faction do not want to talk about it. In fact, in the items which I understand they could have settled on, one of them is a IEBC, second is a Prime Cabinet Secretary, official opposition leader, very powerful one, and I think 2/3 gender rule. So that is what has been agreed on. But I think the high cost of living ni issue ambao hawataka kuongelea. Yeah, that's to mean that the cost of living will still escalate going forward. That's what I can make from their rejection to want to share. You see, the advantage of them discussing this issue in that bipartisan, ilikuwa ni kwamba they come up with a framework on how to deal with the escalating prices, you know, ili waangalie itafanyika hivi. But the fact that hawataki kuongelea hilo swala already symbolizes that they are not ready to lower the high cost of living. So, ladies and gentlemen, kindly, I'm requesting you to go below the comment section, and from the video which you've seen regarding what Cecil Mbarire was saying, what do you make of that video and how she was giving out a statement, and all of a sudden, when she realized that she was going to talk about electoral injustice, she decided to pass the mantle to Opiyo Wandayi, the Azimio minority leader, to be the one to talk about that.
Okay, let me say this, that very, very successful meeting as the National Dialogue Committee. And we have delved into a number of issues within the purview of this committee. Specifically, we have addressed ourselves to the matter of the restructuring and reconstitution of the IBC. And on that, we have come to an agreement that we shall have a reconstitution of the IBC selection panel. And in this reconstitution, the membership of the IBC selection panel is going to increase from the present 7 to 9.
So what do you make of it? Kindly go below the comment section and tell us about that. And also, I would like to encourage any viewer who has not subscribed to this channel to please take one moment, a second, and go there. There's a button written subscribe. Just hit it once if you've not subscribed before. And there's also a button written thumbs up. You know, this is very important. Thumbs up is very important because, you know, the more the likes, you know, the better for the video. It gets shared by the YouTube. So, ladies and gentlemen, for those who've supported this channel, I'd like to say here that I'm forever grateful for that support, because without you, this channel cannot grow. So until you catch up again, please stay safe and stay blessed.